Hello. On May 3rd, 2010, which was Monday this week, my oldest cousin, Christian Moan, shot and killed himself. According to an article I read online, he did this in the parking lot of an emergency room. And according to his obituary, he was recently married to a woman with about 4 children, and she was pregnant with his first child. So it's a mystery why he shot himself. I mean, I can speculate. I can perhaps imagine that he was under great stress because of his new marriage, and perhaps felt greater responsibility than he knew how to deal with. Or it could have been something else entirely. I don't know. I was not in touch with him. And the purpose of this video is not to speculate on why he killed himself. It's rather to talk about suicide in general. I do know what it's like to have feelings of wanting to kill yourself, but each time I've had those feelings, I've been able to resist the urge. And one of the things that helps me in times like this is knowing that it's going to pass. No matter how bad I may feel over something, I know that it's going to pass, and I'm going to be happy again. I have, been through some bad situations before, like being dumped by a girlfriend, or being betrayed by a girlfriend, or being rejected by a girl. Usually situations involving girls. Also, I've been through my father's death and got through that. Each time these happened, I knew, even though I was feeling bad, that those bad feelings would not last forever, that I would get over it and I would go on to being happy again. And another thing to think about when you have such feelings is to look for what these feelings may be able to teach you. You may be able to learn something about perhaps a source of meaning in your life that you've been neglecting, or something about your own feelings that you weren't really aware of before. Like when I was rejected by a woman once, I realized the reason it hurt so much was because I loved her. And once I was able to focus on the fact that I loved her rather than on the pain was able to go away. I have not improved my relationship with her. The rejection still stands, and we're not friends. But at least I'm able to think well of her, and I don't feel overly upset over her rejection of me. And it doesn't get me down anymore. I'm able to appreciate my life. Another thing to consider is that suicide is final. If there is no afterlife, then when you commit suicide, you're going to destroy the entire foundation of what is good about your life. You won't just be escaping from the pain in your life. You will be escaping from all pleasure in your life, from all meaning in your life, from all that is important in your life. Because without your life, there won't be any of that. It's your life itself that gives meaning and purpose to everything else in your life. It's the very foundation of the meaning and purpose in your life. And so to take your life is going to undermine all of that. On the other hand, if there is an afterlife, suicide could at least make things worse for you. Some people believe that if you commit suicide, you're going to go to hell, or possibly to purgatory. Or if they don't believe in strictly heaven or hell, they may believe that people who commit suicide are going to enter the afterlife in a bad way. They'll be distressed and distraught, and things will go worse for them. it won't be good for them. It'd be better to learn from your whatever lessons the pain has to teach you in your life, and to learn those lessons now instead of having to learn them sometime in the afterlife or in another life. Karma, if there is such a thing, that's supposed to be about teaching you various lessons. And if you keep missing a lesson, then certain situations keep repeating again and again, according to belief in karma. And so, if you kill yourself and there's such thing as reincarnation and karma, then you're going to relive the same kind of situations over and over again in your life. Not in this life, but in your future lives. So it would be better to deal with whatever's troubling you now rather than to have to deal with it later. So either there's an afterlife or there isn't, and if there is one, it's best to deal with these things now rather than bringing them into the afterlife with you. And if there isn't, it's not really good to undermine what makes your life worthwhile and valuable. Now, for people who are not in the situation where they're thinking of killing themselves, there are still steps you can take to help prevent yourself from killing yourself if you ever find yourself feeling great despair or great sense of stress or whatever. One of these is to meditate regularly. Through meditation, you can gain a sense of inner bliss, and you know that you can get in touch with this anytime in your life. And you know, when you're feeling down, you know you have this to fall back on. And meditation is not simply relaxation, nor is it simply prayer. Meditation can be relaxing, and some forms of prayer can be like meditation, but meditation is not about beseeching a higher being. It's more about getting in touch with your inner being, with feeling the sense of bliss and joy of being who you are. And so I highly recommend meditation. Another thing I recommend is exercise. Exercise will help you feel good about yourself. It helps you use your body. It helps you give you more confidence. And it can help you feel good physically. Exercising can stimulate endorphins that help you feel good. And exercising regularly gives you a way to regularly feel good, which can be helpful. Another more piece of advice which covers these, but is more general, is to take pleasure in life and don't feel guilty about it. Guilt can ruin your pleasure in life. You may enjoy something but feel guilty about enjoying it, and then that ruins your pleasure. I don't mean to recommend taking pleasure in things that perhaps you should feel guilty about, but don't think that pleasure itself is something to feel guilty about. Pleasure itself is not something to feel guilty about. Pleasure is a good thing in life, and we need to enjoy it as much as we can. Though, of course, there are certain things that it's best to avoid taking pleasure in, such as things which can hurt us, things which are harmful, things which hurt other people. We want to avoid those. But pleasure itself is not a bad thing, and we should be able to get in touch with that. One more thing, of course, is to stay in touch with people, to have people in your life that you care about and that care about you. It's probably more important to have people in your life that you care about, whether or not they care about you. Because when you can get in touch with the sense that you love other people, then you're going to be less likely to take yourself out of this world, because you know that you don't want to leave them. But if it's just other people who love you and you don't feel that love in return, you might think, so what? And in your life anyway. Well, I'm running out of time, so suicide is bad, don't do it, and so long.